Where is okay? So, anyways, we're gonna kind of let a couple people trickle in here. Usually takes
Okay.
a couple minutes for people to change, change locations on the videos. Um, I had thought about at one point just starting and just like do the video and then just have people join, drop off. But I figured it's kind of nice for you all to have your own video to where you can go back and see it and people can go see it and have it not have to like skip ahead to see 3 hours in to find one of their artists they're looking for. So um, but anyways, we are getting down to the end a little bit here. We got looks like 8 more artists actually, so we still got another
Yeah.
solid 4 hours to go on this. So Kevin is Kevin Cleveland is here with us. We'll get to know him a little bit over the next half hour, a little bit about his art, and maybe a little bit of him as a collector. Um, so, anyways, Kevin, let's go ahead and hear from you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background with art, and then also what was your first set with Tops.
All right. Well, I'll apologize already. I'm a rambler, but I'll try to make all these fairly short answers. I've always been into art ever since I was little. If you hear my mom say it, I never drew a stick figure. Always just drew full people, however bad they were. Trust me. I actually ran across a drawing pad of mine from like kindergarten, first grade. I think was technically my first sketch card set I ever did. It doesn't really count, but I drew one page, bunch of boxes, and I drew like Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and stuff like that in individual boxes. So technically my first sketch card set, I guess. Going throughout time, everything with art. Went to vocational school. Never went to college, but went to vocational school. Always loved everything. Got into photography, special effects, acting, voice acting, things like that. Um, but always came back to illustrations. I got lucky to meet my friend Luke, Luke Boyton. He runs the Sons of Obi-Wan Saber Academy over in Australia. It's a nonprofit that caters to everyone, but deals with special needs kids, teaching them life lessons through theater stage combat using Star Wars as a theme background, I guess. Um, Met him at Celebration in Anaheim, and then 2 years later in Celebration in Orlando, um, he was gracious enough to introduce me to a friend of his that happened to be a big inspiration of mine, Mark Ratz. People in the collecting groups, people in the art world, things like that know Mark's name. He's done a lot of Star Wars movie posters, DVD jackets, VHS coats, things like that, whatever. Um, and Mark was nice enough to look at some of my art and critique it, and he really critiqued it. He wasn't, didn't blow smoke up anywhere. He told me what was good, what was bad, what he didn't like, what he liked. And I asked him what I should do next. He told me that day, he told me, draw 50 more cards, card size drawings. Um, Go on Facebook, find some people that work for Tops, and show them your art and see if you can get the contact information to submit. I did, and I won't say what artist gave me the contact information. I don't know if that's a no or not. So I won't say that, but he gave me contact information. I submitted. Back then, Mark Van Olen, that most people know, whether from Tops or from Twitter and things like that, was running. He was the art director for sketch cards for Star Wars. He's currently on furlough, but is doing more with the Tops Authentics now. Um, so he accepted me or put me through whatever. My first set was actually 2017 Masterworks. So actually started working on that in 2016 or no, early in the year 2017. That was probably the nicest um, length of deadline that I've ever had on a card set. But since then, I have done every Star Wars set for Tops except Women of Star Wars. They did a much smaller group of artists for that set. Uh, and then I've worked on a few other things for Tops, 3 different Stranger Things series, Walking Dead series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then worked for a few smaller companies, Dynamite Entertainment. They do mostly comic book stuff, but I've done Kiss, the band for them, and Betty Page, Women of Cosplay, Fallout for the video game, and 25th year anniversary for Chaos Comics. And Rusty Inc., Rusty Gilligan, if anybody knows him, he's a Topps artist as well. He has his own little card company, Rusty Inc., which is awesome. We did a pre Judy Garland Wizard of Oz series, and currently just did a like pulp fiction series that dealt with like old sci-fi magazine style art, things like that. And those cards were actually tobacco card size from like the early 1900s, with baseball cards much smaller than a standard card. So that's most all the sets I've worked on. I've done little commissions here and there, lots of charity work I do. I give to as many as I can, as much as I can, whatever I have time for. And that's pretty much where I'm at now.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I know a lot of people are saying hi. Preston, Eric, Greg was saying hi. Timothy Ward was saying hi. Eric, Netterostek said that he's excited for the 5 APs he's got coming from you soon. So
yeah, that was from day one. I actually think he, as long as timing was right, he might have been the first purchase at the con in general, at least that I saw. So big thank you. That's awesome. I can't wait to start working on it. He's a big Death Star from A New Hope fan. A lot of different things from the Death Star or inside the Death Star characters, whatnot. Really looking forward to actually getting to work on those. And
yeah.
Again, apologies everyone. My quench my thirst.
So, that's really, really cool, and I'm glad to hear that you guys are having some success from this, and on the flip side, that collectors are able to get some, some amazing artwork from amazing, artists. I think the coolest thing about this group, and I think you can speak to it from a unique aspect, is that as a collector, we also have a lot of access to the artists. We're very, very fortunate that so many of these cards come into the sets and are, something that a lot of us really look forward to pulling. And
absolutely.
I remember when I first joined, I learned a little bit about what sketch cards were, and specifically through the Galaxy set, which we'll touch on here in a few minutes. And I remember seeing the names pop up. I remember seeing one or two pop up, and I was like, hey, I recognize that name, and I flip over the Galaxy card, that's what it is. And I realized, I did through a little research, I realized that the Galaxy set, a lot of the artists are in the group, and I started reaching out to some, you being one of them, asking if, hey, can I send you a couple cards? Would you mind signing one, sending it back? And, I looked at all of you guys as like, it just seemed like you guys were in my mind in like a way a celebrity. And, it's probably weird for you to hear that, but it was like, I was looking at it like, I had no idea that people who were contributing to the base sets and Galaxy and other sets that, we had such easy access to you guys, and I hope that nobody's ever really abused that, because I certainly don't take that for granted that we're able to reach out to you guys personally, actually get to know who you are as a person, and also, get art from you guys. So, speaking of the Galaxy set, I'm gonna throw it back to you. I can see it behind you. You were one of the approximately 48-ish, 50-ish artists or so, who contributed a base card to the 2018 Galaxy set. Tell us a little bit about what that was like for you in determining what you wanted to draw, how long did you work on it, and also what that meant to you.
All right, good question. It's actually a weird story. So when Topps reached out to me and invited me to submit for a base card, I through the moon. I tell everyone, like, one of my goals in life has always been, because backtracking. I've always been a Star Wars fan my whole life. I have a picture on my Facebook, on my Instagram. My When I was 3 for Halloween, my mom actually cut up like 3 or 4 different fur coats that she had to make me an Ewok costume. So it's been forever. And so one of my lifelong goals has always been to have my name attached to Star Wars. And at first, everybody growing up wants to be in a movie, wants to be Luke Skywalker, wants to be Han Solo, wants to be Darth Vader, whatever it may be. Growing up and seeing the originals and then having that huge lull in between and not thinking there was ever going to be any movies coming out, doing art was almost the next best thing, So then when I got invited to submit for Galaxy, to me, I made it. Like, my name would officially, not my signature, but my name be printed on something official Star Wars from now until eternity, So the process is they ask you for 3 different ideas written out, like what you think about doing. They then they reply back to you and say, yeah, go forward with this one. We'd like to see how that turns out. I don't remember what all 3 of my ideas were, but the one they actually picked is not this one behind me here. They actually picked Star Wars Rebels Kanan versus the Inquisitor / Temple Guard. And hopefully everyone's seen Rebels, and I'm not giving anything away, spoilers, whatever. So I did a drawing of that, probably 9x6 size, maybe a little larger, and submitted it. They sent it back to me and said, hey, let's change this or change that, whatever. I did that. Sent it back. They sent it back to me. Let's change this, let's change that. Sent that in. 4th time they sent back and said, basically just wanted to change the whole thing. At that point, they were like, hey, instead of doing these proportions or, this person over here, this person over there, make them facing each other, change this in the background completely, whatever. And I did that. But when I did it and sent it in to the art director at the time, I sent this picture as well. And I said, hey, I know that they're already on this Kanan Temple Guard thing, but I'd like to submit this too. It's just something I had worked on. And I actually got a reply back in like a day and a half by email that said, forget the Kanan thing. We're just going to take this as is, and this is the one we're going to use. If anybody's searching, it is card number 45. I actually titled it Obi-Wan's Contemplation. They retitled it The Jedi Master, which is fine with me. But yeah, so it was a good 2.5, maybe 3-month process of back and forth, which is, you get that a lot with all different kinds of art submissions and things that people are going to actually use, whether it be not so much in commissions, but for major companies. They want things changed, or they want a few different ideas all thrown at them at the same time, kind of thing.
Right. No, that's very, very cool. Chris K's commenting saying that his goal is to do art or do a Star Wars base set or base card. Allison Whitaker says she wants that print. So, yeah, anyways, I had a similar conversation with Jerry Garcia last night. He also did one of the base cards for the Galaxy set. And I kind of equated it to, I grew up playing sports. I played basketball and football and, at least at like a competitive varsity level. And I played anything I could get my hands on. But, I always wanted to be a professional athlete when you're a kid. Just like you're saying, you always wanted to grow up being Luke or Han or something like that. And, with that, there's basketball cards, baseball cards, and I told him, I was like, I always wanted to have my face on a baseball card, or a basketball card, a football card, something like that. And to me, that is like the equivalent. Your name, like you said, is printed forever on this card, for Star Wars. And, I totally understand what you're saying with that. It sounds really, really incredible.
I apologize for my hair, guys. I actually, quarantine cuts and stuff. I got this nice mohawk mullet going on. I'm actually gonna put on a hat though. Uh,
I got a question for you because
okay.
Allison Whitaker just asked something in the page, and she didn't ask this question, but I'm just curious. Whatever happened to the Kanan Inquisitor that they reject or swapped out? I guess.
Yeah. I still have the 3 or 4 originals. I have them in my portfolio that I take to most conventions for my table. Uh, I don't know if I do anything with them per se. I mean, maybe at some point I would consider making prints out of them and selling them, but I'd hate to like pick one over another to make prints out of, and I'd hate to
Mm-hmm.
pick all 4 and basically have like 4 prints that are almost the same kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So I don't know. It would kind of just be on a case by case basis for that.
What about the originals?
Uh, you see, you said it. I'm a collector as well. I have the hardest time letting originals go.
Mm.
Commissions, whatnot. I have, and you can see in my booth, I have a ton of my APs uh, still.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that being is typically I think I outprice myself um, to where people aren't purchasing them because they're too expensive. And I do kind of do that on purpose because I have a hard time letting them go. Uh, Same with I personally I love autographs, and I have just going through. I went through all my cards this past like week or two, and sorted and made a spreadsheet of everything I have, everything I need, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that I have let's see, Masterwork 2016 for autographs. There's a base, a foil, a canvas, a wood, a silver frame, and a gold frame for the different parallels for those autographs. Most of the cards I probably have 4 or 5 of the different, but then maybe 1 or 2 of each,
Mm-hmm.
on top of it. And I'm like, I could really have, multiples of this. I could get rid of some of it, but I have a hard time with it. I love it all. Star Wars, you can't really see it, but it's all over my house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I live in a double. I live in the upstairs. I rent out the downstairs, but I live in the attic with the girlfriend. Tons of stuff up there. The kids have the bedrooms on the second floor, but there's stuff on my mantle, on shelves in my living room, in the
Mm-hmm.
built-ins back here, all over my desk, stuff in the basement. There's stuff everywhere in this house just because everything Star Wars, everything.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool that you're a collector as well. Allison, I tried to see if those originals were up for grabs. Yeah, so she was saying she kind of wished I think the Kanan Inquisitor Temple Guard got pushed through.
Yeah.
We all know she's a big Rebels fan, so. But anyways, we don't have too much more time here left, so I do want to spend a couple minutes kind of taking a look at what you've got. Do you have
Okay.
anything handy that you can show us that's available, or?
I mean, pretty much everything that's in the group in the or not in the group in the event at my
Mhm.
my art page. I do have, I don't know how easy it is to see this. Me holding, I have a book with all my current finished APs, but all
Mm.
those pictures are there. I don't know if you can bring those up and I can just talk through them as you're scrolling or whatever. Probably be a bit easier. I
Yeah,
will show
I'll grab a
one.
few of them here in a second.
I will show everyone. This is
Oh, hold on, yeah.
from the group drawing that was a few hours ago. This will be um, given away later on for people that were watching and commented in the group. This is the drawing I did. Quick. It's supposed to only be like 30-minute drawing, but I worked on it for probably a half hour afterwards as well. But yeah, Clone Pilot. I love clone troopers in general. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely, and thank you again so much for doing that. Really, really appreciate that. I think those are probably some of the coolest things this weekend were those workshops, and getting to actually see you guys draw in real time. Um, yeah, I found that really, really fascinating from my perspective, and I hope everybody else did as well.
yeah, it was a
Um,
lot of fun.
so yeah, here I got a couple things I'm going to show. I just found your booth.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, everybody check out my booth.
Yeah, so anyways, guys, again, go to the event, scroll all the way down to the bottom, make sure you're able to check out all the artists. It is devoted strictly to um, their posts, their booths. There's a lot of really, really great artwork. Make sure you stop at Kevin's booth. He's got some really cool APs. I could tell you like clones. Um,
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious here. We got a regular clone trooper. We got Cody. We got Gree. We got Gregor, um,
Yeah.
and old Rex. So if you want to get some official stuff, go get it there. If you're looking for some deals, Kevin's got some deals going on. Buy a couple things, get a percentage off. And looks like you've got your own personal giveaway you're doing as well.
Yeah, anybody that purchases even one thing, doesn't matter if it's one of my $5 patches or up to a, $80,000 commission. You get entered into my giveaway. My giveaway I will run on Monday on my art page, and then on my art page I also have two giveaways. I'm running one on Monday, one on Tuesday for May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th. So there's, the generic rules, like, comment, share, tag a friend kind of thing. So yeah, that's I'll be running that as well all weekend. But yeah, everything's up on my page there. Most of prints, but
Looks like
also
you got some comics on here as well.
Yeah, I do blank comic covers. Actually,
I was gonna say, sorry to cut you off, but I want to make sure we're sticking here on time. It looks like you've got some. You have some blank officials cards.
Yes, I do. I got a few in there. Some have been sold, as you said earlier. The APs there, those are. I am out of 2017 Masterwork, which I have those because they actually had lost my APs on accident in the warehouse. So they sent me some blanks. But those are now sold out. I think I have one black and white left. One Skywalker Saga. And then that Pano is sold as well.
Oh, okay.
Currently,
Nice.
Unfortunately, for anybody looking for a Pano. But yeah, Blank Comics, I got sold one to David Glass commission for him for his daughter's birthday, which is the 11th. So I'll be working on that frantically the next few days. As I said, also working on a commission for Eric Moore. He's a really great guy. He's gotten commissions from me before. I'm working on a Kenobi Rex reimagining for him. I actually plan on, if I'm allowed to, in the group page tonight after everyone's spotlights, I was going to go live and do some work on that as well, so people can check into that if they're just scrolling around 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. But I don't know if you can't see it because it's super lightly pencil drawn at this point, just an outline. But yeah, I'll be working on that. David's sketch cover I'm really looking forward to working on. That's going to be awesome too. As you said, I know we're running out of time. I'll give some quick plugs if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
My Facebook art page is .com/ Cleveland's Art. That's Cleveland's with an S at the end. Cleveland's _art. Instagram is @TheRealKevinCleveland. My Twitter is Cleveland's Art as well. I have an Etsy and stuff like that, but I'm not going to bother people. If they're looking to get something done, reach out to me instead of just buying something pre-done. Would be probably better. But yeah, I love talking to fans. I thank you guys. As I said, I've said it before. You, Logan, all the admins, Logan for the idea, you for putting in hours and hours and hours of time. You've been crazy and awesome. All the admins from the Card Trader group. I've been in the Card Trader group a long time. Actually, I think I've been in there longer than a few of the current admins. But I love that group. I love the fans because I'm a fan myself, and I love being able to reach out to some of the artists and actually like pick their ear and get some ideas and stuff. It's really cool. Check out
Yeah.
everybody's booths, not just mine, but mine especially. Oh,
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly appreciate you coming on. Preston looks like he wanted to know if you draw some wrestlers. Quick yes or no
yes,
answer. Yes, absolutely.
yes,
Cool, cool. So, anyways, thank you again, Kevin, for coming on, giving us some of your insight. I know we didn't get a chance to talk too much about the mediums you use and all that kind of stuff, but
all right.
this certainly isn't the end. If you have any other questions for Kevin, reach out to him. He's very, very approachable and friendly, and he worked on the Galaxy set, so I got a signed card from him if you're looking for something like that. Um,
Yep,
but anyways, thank you again for the workshop, all that good stuff. Have a good night, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
definitely. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.